Hello there and welcome to my channel. I'm Aryannah and I make art videos here on YouTube. Today's video will be a DIY sketchbook / journal cover, and in front of you you will see the different materials that I used. If you're interested to see what I did use, everything will be listed down in the description below. And if you want to see how my sketchbook cover turned out, keep on watching. So to start off, if you have a sketchbook that's any type of weird colors or it has any text on the front, you might want to cover it up. So what I'm doing is I'm taking some tissue paper and I'm ripping it up, as you can see here. And then I'm doing a paper mache type deal. So I'm taking the ripped up sketchbook pieces and then some Mod Podge, and I'm laying a layer of Mod Podge down so the tissue paper has something to stick to, and then I'm crumpling up the tissue paper a little bit so there can be some nice textures, and then I'm sticking it down and then putting another layer of Mod Podge on top of that. So as you can see, it kind of looks white and gross right now, but the Mod Podge does dry down in the end. And I'm using a kind of shiny Mod Podge. If you would like, they also make matte and different finishes, so you can just check out your craft store and see what kind of finish you'd like on your sketchbook. So I repeated the step of laying down some Mod Podge, crumpling up the tissue paper, and then sealing it in with some more of the Mod Podge. And I covered my whole entire sketchbook cover with the brown tissue paper, and if you want, you could choose any color you want. I decided to go with a brown so I can make it look a little bit more natural with the design I ended up going with at the end. And so now I am using some gold acrylic paint, and I'm just roughly brushing it on the top of my sketchbook because I wanted a little bit of gold accents here and there. And so this step is optional, or you can choose whatever type of pop of color you'd want. And now for the design that I'm going for. So I went for a tree / tree branch design. So you can see on my phone there I'm looking up different details and references of how tree branches look like. And then I'm taking some acrylic paint that is similar to the color I already have down, so it won't be as noticeable in the end. And then I'm just mapping in kind of the shapes, or the rough shapes and directions that I want the tree branches to go in. And of course I mapped it out before, I tested it out, and I wanted to see what shape of the tree would look best on the size of the sketchbook cover. So I highly recommend that you kind of test out the different shapes or whatever design you want to go for before you actually jump into it, because it might not turn out the way you want it to, or so it's better to plan ahead. And now I'm starting with actually gluing down the material that I used to make the bark or tree branch look. So for this I found some jute cord. Is what the cord I'm using right here, and you can use whatever materials you have laying around your house, some actual sticks from outside if they'll fit on your sketchbook and lay flat nicely. And of course you're welcome to use any type of hemp cord or anything else that you can find. And for the glue, I'm using Goop. It's similar to E6000. It's kind of like a craft industrial strength-ish glue. So depending on the glue you have, it may ask you to, or it may tell you in the instructions to put the glue down and then wait 30 seconds or so for the glue to get tacky, and then you can stick down your materials. And I highly recommend using a glue like this, a stronger craft glue, rather than an Elmer's glue or a little super glue, because those usually don't work quite as well. And if you're going to be using your sketchbook or putting it in a bag or something, you want the materials that you're gluing down to really stay. And so once I'm sticking down the materials to the sketchbook cover, I'm taking I was using the end of a paintbrush before, and I'm using scissors right now, as you can see, to make sure it's really stuck to the glue and it's not going to budge later on when the glue dries. And so I followed the same process of setting the glue down, giving it about 30 seconds or so, and then putting the materials down. So as you can see, I skipped forward a little bit because it was a little bit too repetitive. And as I'm doing this, I'm kind of just estimating the length of the cord that I'm going to use, and then once it dries down and it's set in place, I just cut off the extras that are sticking off at the end. And so this is what my tree looks like without the rest of the details that I added in later. And then for the rest, I decided to add some flowers. So I found these flowers at Michael's, and they're only $1 to $2 each. And I thought this color combo looked pretty nice together. And make sure you're looking at the size and the shapes, so it fits on your sketchbook pretty much. And so now I'm just taking the flowers, I either cut them off or kind of just tugged at them a little bit and they came off the flower stems. And I'm kind of just measuring where they would go, eyeballing them, what might look good. And then I'm cutting some of them to look as if they're coming off the edge of the paper, or doing individual little flower petals and scattering them around. And then with the leaves on the actual flowers were a little bit too big, so I trimmed them down just to look more natural, if you will, with the flowers. And now I'm gluing them down, so just like before, you set your glue down, give it a few seconds, and then stick down the rest of your flowers or whatever you're gluing down. And then I just simply did the same repeated steps for the rest of the flowers. And when you're doing it, I really urge you not to use your fingers and get any of the glue on your fingers, because with this stuff it's really annoying and it's hard to remove, and it doesn't work well on the fingers. So definitely use some other object to stick it down and make sure it's firmly placed inside the glue. Well, hello there. This is my finished sketchbook. I think it's finished at least. I might add something later on, but as of now, I can't really think of anything else that I might want to add. So this is what I got here. Here's a little bit of a close-up, I guess. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed that, and if you get the inspiration or the idea to make something similar, let me know. I'd love to see it. And I think that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Stick around and subscribe for more if you're interested, and I'll see you later. Toodles! Doki's walking around in the hallway. Can you see everything here and the random flowers and stuff? What is this? This is this freaking thing. Is that a little better? That is so much better. Okay. I'm sitting down now and I'm typing. Oh wait, I'm not even recording on here.